how can you adapt these documents for your financial entity? Of course, as I mentioned, these DORA and these CDRs are pretty prescriptive, so whatever says there, you have to write in your documents. However, they do not prescribe everything because this wouldn't be possible. So for example, for access control, they do require that you define exactly who is authorizing the access, how this access is opened, how this access is reviewed, and so on. But of course, neither DORA nor CDRs, they do not specify exactly who in your company needs to have the access to what or who authorizes this access. So it's up to you to define in your financial entity who is, for example, authorizing the access of new employees. So when you want to adapt these documents for your specific organizational needs, you have to do two things. First, you have to see what kind of process already exists in your company. So if you already have a certain manager that assigns access level to new employees, then this is probably the way that you can do it further on without changing this. However, the second thing that you have to take into account are risks. So you have to take into account your risk assessment and see if this already existing process is appropriate for the level of risk that you have for this particular area. So if you have really high risks because of this assigning of the access control, then you might reconsider and actually giving this authority to someone who is perhaps higher in the organization to reduce the level of risk.